UNESCO, Your Excellencies, Mr. Ambassador Sergei Nasyan, Mr. Ambassador Nicholas Nikolazishvili, Mr. Ambassador Mikhail Ninja, Mr. Ambassador Alexander Banko, dear partners for our project, directors from Institute for European Policy and Reform from Chisinau, directly for kids from Georgian Institute of Post-Strategic Studies, Leonid Litra from New Europe Center. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome you to the second edition of the Eastern Partnership Think Tank Forum, organized in Bucharest for the first time and hosted by an European country, in a place with a history and dedicated to the academia, Central University Library. In a place with a history and dedicated to the academia, Central University Library, Caroline. This is the perfect place to debate ideas, to debate projects, to brainstorm solutions and recommendations for our future. This is the best place to meet and create cohesion between academia, think tankers, journalists, officials, and decision makers. I would like to thank you all of you for accepting our invitation to participate to this edition of the Eastern Partnership Think Tank Forum, and to wish to all of us very fruitful debates during a two-day event. Also, I would like to thank you for your support and dedication to the idea that this project, like the Eastern Partnership, still can offer a lot of tools and opportunities for all the countries that are members and also for the partner countries of the European Union. We can create resources for ourselves to face challenges that each country we represent today and the region as a whole is facing. This is the proper place and time to brainstorm options for all of us and to meet the right people, the bright people, to face those threats and challenges coming from the outside. I was among those researchers in Romania that started to study Eastern Partnership on the ground. I visited all 6 Eastern Partnership countries during my PhD thesis, and 2 days before my defending, 2 days before the summit buildings, I defend my PhD thesis, and I have very non-easy conclusions. And unfortunately, my intuition was right. And 2 days later, the revolution in Ukraine started. But this wasn't only a bad moment for our history, I mean for the history of Eastern Partnership countries. This was a window of opportunities to understand what means European values, what means democracy, and what means reform for all our countries. I would like to say that I am sure that among us are a lot of people that are aware about the fact that public institutions need our support these days in achieving the common interest. And by saying that, I mean the Romanian presidency for the Council of Europe for 2009. I will address this message for our officials. You have all our support, all the support of think tankers, and I'm sure that we will do a great job in the first 6 months of the next year. In this context, I would like to say again that this is the proper space, this is the right moment to research the best mechanism, to research the best tools, and to find our internal resources to face the problems in a transparent way, not only in the Chatham House rules, but for ourselves, but also for the benefit of our communities. I wish for all of us an efficient debate, an intense discussion, and saying that, I would like to thank you for joining the Eastern Partnership Think Tank Forum 2018 edition that is held under the Austrian presidency auspice. That means the recognition of the importance of this event for the region. And it's my honor to present and to introduce to you the special envoy of Eastern Partnership of the Austrian Federal Ministry of Europe that has joined special for our event. And I would like to invite him to address his keynote speech. Mr. Ambassador, you have the floor.
State Secretaries, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of government, academia, and civil society, distinguished participants. Thank you very much for inviting me. It is an honor and a special pleasure being here. I'm always thrilled listening to academic and think tank views as they so much expand, challenge, and sometimes maybe predate the usually heard official and diplomatic ones. First of all, I bring you the greetings of the Austrian Presidency of the Council of the European Union, which gladly has extended its auspices over this conference. Security, as well as cooperation with think tanks and civil societies, are amongst Austria's top priorities during her presidency. And a warm welcome to you all to this workshop to Bucharest, capital of the incoming presidency of the Council of European Union. In my opening words, I will talk about the status and possible future of the Eastern Partnership and highlight Austria's position on the Eastern Partnership. Austria carries great interest in the Eastern Partnership. Further developing the Eastern Partnership was declared one of Austria's EU presidency's priorities. Already in the trio presidency program, together with Estonia and Bulgaria, a democratic, stable, prosperous, and resilient Eastern neighborhood was emphasized to be key European Union objectives. Besides a number of EU aspects to it, including the EU 5 principles of spring 2016, which have always been renewed on its policy towards Russia, Austria also nationally has considerable interest in the EaP countries. As the western borders of the Eastern Partnership regions are geographically close to Austria. I do not have to point here to the map of Central Europe, where the western borders of Ukraine are closer to Vienna than the western borders of Austria to Vienna. And you know that Austria is not a very big country. Austria pursues a comprehensive, a multi-directional, and a dialogue-based Eastern policy, Ostpolitik. In some of the partner countries, Austria ranges amongst the top foreign investors, and with all of them has very close and intense business relations, as well as regular political and sectorial meetings at high and expert level. The Eastern Partnership as a framework of cooperation between the European Union and its 6 Eastern partner countries was founded nearly 10 years ago in order to enhance and to institutionalize EU's relations and cooperation with these countries. This goal is supported by the EU's expert and financial support to structural reforms in and of the partner countries. All 6 partners are sharing a common, not always liberally chosen, Soviet past, but have developed quite different orientations and aspirations since their gaining or regaining of independence some 25 years ago. The partner countries do not constitute a geographic region amongst each other. 3 countries are situated between the EU's eastern external borders and those of Russia. 3 others are lying at Russia's southern borders. All but one are faced with some kind of territorial conflict. Adding to the differences amongst partner states, in particular in the context of today's conference, Besides different levels of aspirations with respect to approximation with the European Union, there are marked differences on the security orientations of the partner countries. They vary between wishes of an early NATO membership on the one hand and current membership of the CSTO on the other, with different degrees of involvement in the SCO, as somewhere in between, or maybe sometimes overlapping, a status or a policy or a goal of neutrality. On the latter, only at the beginning of this week, a workshop was held in Minsk within the framework of the Eastern Partnership. It asked if there was a role for neutrality within the security options of the Eastern Partner countries. We discussed neutrality from international law and political science perspective, not morals. As the Nobel Prize winner Elie Wiesel, who was born in Romania, undoubtedly rightly said, always take sides. Neutrality helps only oppressors, never the victims. In the course of the Minsk neutrality workshop, it was found that neutrality as a security option is certainly neither a panacea for all security situations, nor an evil in itself, nor a concept to be ashamed of. While in some Western, especially in Nordic countries, neutrality was given up in favor of military non-alignment, Central European countries with a low base of neutrality adapted its policy to the post-Cold War age. EU members made their concepts and policies of neutrality compatible with EU membership, as well as active participation in CSTP and also PESCO. Moldova, Serbia, Turkmenistan, and to a certain extent also Belarus regard neutrality in different meanings. The workshop concluded that neutrality is different from country to country and may or may not be applicable as a security policy option for a specific country. Distinguished participants, the EU has during the last years adopted an approach of diversification in respect to the Eastern Partner countries. That is, treating each partner country on their own merits, capabilities, and aspirations. Some wish for EU membership, others do not envisage such, but not for the time. But all are interested in a close relationship with the European Union. This can be summarily described as approximation to EU standards and values. A process that should and thus bring with it market advantages in the field of trade, administration, democratic institutions and processes, and human security for the countries and in particular their populations. Creating a stable, secure, and prosperous neighborhood of the European Union, as well as increasing resilience of state and society in respect to external and internal threats, is the main goal of the Eastern Partnership. Such stability, prosperity, and resilience in the EU's neighborhood is also in the EU's own interest, as it increases the EU's own stability. A few weeks ago, at the Eastern Partnership Foreign Ministers meeting in Brussels on the 15th of October, I felt a broad, if not overall, consensus of relative satisfaction with the state of the Eastern Partnership and on present and future priorities. Focus areas mentioned by many were connectivity, in particular on energy and transport, digitalization, cyber and hybrid threats, anti-corruption measures, STRATCOM, democratic institutions, free, fair, and undisturbed elections, rule of law, as well as much and broad emphasis and new focus, youth. Slightly diverse orientations, however, were voiced on the EAP's paths after its 10th anniversary. New visions on the one hand, or implementation, as well as walking ahead on the same road with slight corrections on the other. Nearly 10 years after its inception, the EAP has come of age. Maybe not of mature age yet, but certainly beyond turbulent adolescence. If a lifespan of 10 years is enough to reach, as French say, the age of reason, l'âge de raison, remains to be seen. The tendency certainly is positive. What was in the past often regarded as a mainly Brussels spring project has gained much ownership by EU member states. Plus, partner countries are nowadays working because of close cooperation with the EU. And civil society and its organizations are getting progressively involved and vocal and are taking into account and active participating in EU meetings. Think tanks were repeatedly mentioned at the recent senior officials and foreign ministers meeting, and it was suggested that they should be brought into the process of discussing the Eastern Partnership's future. Now to the future. Next year's 10th anniversary of the Eastern Partnership is an excellent opportunity to look to the next decade. But first, the messages for that occasion have to be found, developed, and agreed upon. They most probably will comment the jointly achieved and the wish to carry on, more or less the same way, with a few adaptations. As the Eastern Partnership is today regarded by its participants as generally successful. A greater focus may be put on tangible results for the population and on taking into account the change in security environment. The more for more approach, and conversely, the less approach, will be continued, as well as strict conditionality, which is in the interest of the populations of the partner countries. But before looking to the next decade, elections in 4 Eastern partner countries have to be fair and free, undisturbed from outside, and recycling governments to show stability. In addition, the elections to the European Parliament next May will lead to a new composition, not only of the Parliament, but also of the European Commission. Reverting to today's theme, solving concrete problems of regional security is not within the domain of the Eastern Partnership. The Eastern Partnership certainly carries distinct security elements, but it is not a setup for conflict resolution. It would be a mistake, in my understanding, to judge the Eastern Partnership by parameters it was and it is not designed for. If the creation, for instance, of islands of cooperation, of informal dialogues, and of incremental step-by-step approaches can be supported by the Eastern Partnership, may be discussed here and today. But I do not want to end on a negative note. It is in particular the cooperative character of the Eastern Partnership and its option for cooperation with third states, which can contribute to regional security and to keep its conflicts managed and not spinning out of control. I'm very curious to see the papers which come out, which will be presented as drafts at this conference, and listening to the discussion on new challenges of the Eastern Partnership security environment and the possible new security agenda for the Eastern Partnership, proposed by the eminent think tanks represented today. Concluding, I wish this conference and you, those participants, inspiring ideas and discussions, valuable conclusions for your own work and for your country's work, also good and new contacts, as well as enjoyment in the world.
I think that the papers that we will present today and tomorrow will be a great achievement of our forum. Now I would like to introduce to you, it's my honor to introduce to you Mr. Space Secretary Tudor Buzato. He is a member of the working apparatus of the Vice Prime Minister of the implementation of the Romanian Strategic Partnership. to address his speech to our audience, and I would like also to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me to be here today at the opening of this important event dedicated to a topic of great relevance for Romania's foreign policy in the Eastern neighborhood. The extensive knowledge of civil society organizations and experts can feed the governmental process of decision-making, help adopt effective policies across the board in the direct benefit of our citizens. I would like to take this opportunity to reconfirm that the Eastern Partnership is a priority for Romania. In this context, I assure you, we see the techniques of the government's full openness and closely working with the civil society in approaching the diverse array of opportunities and challenges of the partnership. Without a doubt, your expertise is deep and highly appreciated. The comprehensive work program of this event is a solid indicator that this year's edition of the Eastern Partnership Think Tank Forum will provide an excellent input on ways forward in the implementation of the Eastern Partnership 2020 agenda. We see this format as a useful platform for political dialogue and sectorial cooperation with our neighbors in Eastern Europe and South Caucasus. It facilitates reform processes, legal approximation, and standardization, EU financial and technical assistance. It also serves as a platform to exchange good practices among the Eastern Partnership countries, thus enhancing regional cooperation. That is why, during the Romanian presidency of the EU Council in 2019, the Eastern neighborhood will be a priority, especially the Eastern Partnership, Central Asia, and cooperation in the Black Sea region. Regarding the Eastern Partnership, we will prioritize association agreements, connectivity, stimulating trade and investments. We are planning to organize several high-profile events in these fields, including for marking the 10-year milestone of the Eastern Partnership. This is fast approaching 10th anniversary of the Eastern Partnership, which coincides with the Romanian presidency of the Council of the European Union. It's an opportunity to reaffirm our joint commitment to a close cooperation between the EU and its East European partners, both at government and civil society levels. We are aware of the necessary political and financial support for countries in the region. At EU level, we strongly support maintaining a robust financial assistance instrument for our Eastern partners, together with other like-minded EU member states. Significant progress has been registered in this decade in the region. It has trade with the EU, and visa-free travel for the citizens of Moldova, Georgia, and Ukraine are just two examples, but the list of concrete deliverables by 2010 is addressing issues from all our 6 partner countries. After the summit in 2017, the Eastern Partnership has entered into a more pragmatic phase, focused on delivering tangible results for citizens. We also have to be realistic and recognize that it faces numerous challenges. Some of these challenges are persisting, and some of them are on a visibly increasing trend. Romania is particularly interested in the political and security stability of Eastern Partnership region, as we are neighboring Moldova and Ukraine. Security and stability in the Eastern Partnership is equally important to the partner countries as well as the EU. Let me end my brief remarks by reaffirming my firm conviction that this today's debate will enhance understanding of the underlying issues, while also putting forward potential guidelines for decision makers. I want to send a personal message for the organizers and participants on behalf of Vice Prime Minister Ana Virtual in wishing success to this conference and assuring that the government of Romania is a partner of dialogue for all interested parties in promoting the Eastern Partnership policies during the Romanian presidency of the EU Council and further down the line. Thank you.
I would like to express gratitude for the Romanian Minister of Foreign Affairs for supporting our event. And and for accepting our invitation to join the debates during these 2 days. And I'd like to invite Mr. State Secretary Daniel Niculescu to address his keynote speech to our audience. Please, Mr. Niculescu.
Thank you very much indeed. Good morning, everyone. As I was preparing to deliver my formal speech, I realized that already so many interesting ideas were to the scene, so I could not help myself that before I will deliver the formal speech, I would like to make some of my personal assessments and comments about the Eastern Partnership and its future. First of all, I would like to thank you and thank the organizer for this event. Indeed, it's a food for thought from our perspective, because since we're going to take over the EU presidency next year, I'm sure that this kind of debate help us shape up our ideas for the Eastern Partnership. We keep talking about its 10th anniversary, which we're going to celebrate next year, and we are also thinking how to best plan this, not only from a formal language, but also in substance. And debates like this help us shape up this future of the Eastern Partnership. I heard already here talk about the decade, the next decade. Some would be more optimistic or more pessimistic about that. We begin to sound like UN 2030, 2040. Maybe that's the right forward. That's the way forward. Maybe that's not the way forward. Nevertheless, the ideas are on the table, and it's also up to you, civil society and NGOs, to come up with inputs in this respect. Yes, I think one of our objectives next year in the presidency, I think, is to already launch the debate over the future of these technologies. Because you see, in 2020, when we probably have a summit analyzing and assessing what has been done so far, but what about the future? And I know we all know that consensus among the member states, and also with our partners, is not very easy to reach such a strategic issue. Therefore, I think it's high time next year to already start the debate. And exactly as our Austrian colleague has mentioned, the high-level conference that we're going to plan next year is going to be an excellent venue to present already some concrete ideas. This is why I know my colleagues, we don't know, but they are last. My colleagues are looking forward to these 2 days of debates to get something out of it that we can also put on the plate. Not that we don't have something on the plate, if you don't want to, debate and start right now, but these ideas and discussions here will improve our input. So, just to pass on some of the ideas that I prepared for today, I think it's important to mention once again, also specifically because I've already mentioned, that Romania is remaining a steady and active supporter of the EU neighboring policy. I think from our perspective, we are engaged, we remain engaged in fully promoting democracy and economic development, but of course security and stability as well in the Eastern Partnership region. And I want to make sure that, because we also talked about Russia here, we, from our perspective, view this initiative dedicated to those partners willing and ready to engage with the EU. It's not a competition here, it's not something that we go against somebody else, it's simply an initiative which is aimed at creating the conditions for those partners willing and ready to engage, to experience common values, to experience interacting with the EU and member states. So from that perspective, we don't think that this partnership should be viewed as an instrument targeting somebody else, or even having a competition. It's simply free will. This is the same thing when we talk about economic. It's free will. Okay. Everyone chooses his own thing. Romania assumed the objective of placing the Eastern Partnership center of the EU external agenda as a strategic political priority. One must not look so closely to notice that the EU partners in the Eastern neighborhood are currently dealing with specific complex challenges. It is, I think, our duty and also interest to address these challenges with effective and constructive policies. Extended debates such as this one are undoubtedly very helpful for our assessment. The multi-lateral track of the Eastern Partnership has helped in these years to correctly identify and address challenges, including the security domain. From our perspective, the Eastern Partnership framework, and especially the agreed list of priorities deliverables of 2020, dealing with comprehensive reforms in state matters and also on security issues, has been working relentlessly in implementing a predictable and integrated work plan for the next 2 years. I think, from our perspective, strategic communication and efficiency in responding to hybrid threats goes through our minds when thinking a possible mutual EU-Eastern Partnership project in consolidating regional security. I think this is a field that we experience every day. Even us in the itself, when we're already creating a bureau of strategic communication, especially for this reason, because this is a thing that represents the threat of the day. In this sense, we will continue to help our Eastern neighbors in their respective endeavors on this track, and we count on all stakeholders, government and civil society, of course, in the partner countries to bring their respective contribution to this. But as I mentioned, of course, the Eastern Partnership is not focusing necessarily on security. Having agreed at new level that the civil society dimension of the Eastern Partnership is an essential tool to fostering cooperation and exchange of experiences between civil society organizations from the EAP countries and the EU, I'm convinced that the evaluation of the regional security environment by the relevant experts from the academic and NGOs will bring added value to our government policy. I'm especially eager in seeing, this is a true statement, in seeing today's debate on individual country study case, civil society input in ways to tackle disinformation versus the freedom for expression, for example. This is a very important topic. So our objective for 2019, as I mentioned, is to continue our close coordination of course, with the Eastern partners. We also see this celebration as an opportunity not only for stock taking, but also for preparing for the future in Romania. We, of course, have a tremendous opportunity for strengthening sectorial and political cooperation, and we will do just that. So besides launching the idea and the debate on the future of the Eastern Partnership, Romania, from this perspective, will continue promoting the sectoral cooperation, and we have already in mind. I'm not going to go too much into detail because we're still planning with the Commission and all our relevant colleagues in Brussels and the member states meetings on energy, on business, and also possibly on transportation, but also on digital economy. So those will be basically the three elements. Again, business, energy, digital economy, and possibly transportation, in which Romania will continue, let's say, put an emphasis in our presidency next year, in the context of the Eastern Partnership. So I think this is an opportunity, and I'm basically looking forward for the debates. I don't know if I can be present all day today, but my colleagues will, and it's absolutely great thing that we're organizing this meeting, and I hope we will also able to organize a meeting at the same time in Austria during our Thank you very much.
For sure, we will send the final draft of the papers to all of our guests at the end of this DSG event. But before moving forward, I have to address a special thank you to Mirela Doi, General Director of the Central University Library currently, for supporting our event, for offering this aula currently for the debates. And also I'd like to express our gratitude to Konrad Adenauer Stiftung for joining for the second time to the event. Before that, the first edition was organized by our colleagues in Chisinau, and they also joined last year to the event. Unfortunately, they are unable to be today with us, but they wish to all of us to have a great experience in debating ideas for the future. We are moving forward, and I would like to invite Mr. Gennady. Yes, you have the microphone. Gennady is a member of the Eastern Partnership Civil Society Forum, and I met him 2 years ago. I'm amazed about the work that they are doing on their own think tank, Ukrainian Prism, but also I'm amazed how active is he in the Eastern Partnership Civil Society Forum and also in the steering committee. I know that you have a lot of events during these days in Kiev and Ukraine and around the region, but I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Gennady.
Thank you, Angela. Your Excellencies, dear colleagues, friends, on behalf of the Steering Committee of Society Forums and Partnership, it's my pleasure to welcome you here and to extend our congratulations to the organizers for this event. For Society Forum, it is an important issue, an important event in two dimensions. The first one, we are glad that we are partners for the second time of the Forum. It is part of our branding scheme. In general, to mention, this year we have supported 13 projects of total 270,000 euros, which are our contribution to social development in the region. And I have to mention that we have the fifth call open already, and I encourage you from social relations to apply for international and common projects and you have within the Eastern Partnership region. And the second dimension, why it is so important for us, security. Security has always been a priority for Society Forum. The first event we organized specifically devoted to security was in Kiev, 2015. It was a Kiev Security Conference, and since then we tried to always draw attention to this issue. We have also called for, we were the first to call for intergovernmental platform within Eastern Partnership architecture for security reasons and for security issues, because we think at the moment when we have only a panel, this is a technical level, and it's not enough to address the security concerns we have in the region. We have also a security subgroup within the working group within the forum, which deals specifically with security issues and elaborates some proposals, what we see as important ideas in your heads and within stakeholders within countries of the partnership and EU countries. And at the moment, I think we could comment that security is one of 20 deliverables within the documents and the declaration we have on the Eastern Partnership Summit in Brussels back in 2017. It's very important, but we think there is still room for improvement for wider spectrum of cooperation in the security dimension. We take part in different, and this is very good that we solidify our position within multilateral architecture for Eastern Partnership, and so we take part in ministerials, in formal dialogues, in senior officials meetings, in platforms. We try always to address and to have our position also heard. And one of the positions which we try to address at the moment, we still need for institutional cooperation with the Eastern Partnership. Be it platform, be it working group, be it panel, which is enhanced areas of cooperation. And one more, I just want to address the ideas which was the rest of neutrality. This is the idea we do not assess positively integration, and we could discuss it lately during our previous discussion. But I think there are more effective instruments we have to work with. And we're looking forward to the discussion on the papers you have prepared during work within this project. And I think that we could discuss them during our Assembly, which is due to be in policy in December, and we will be gladly disseminating these ideas in our inputs on steroids and platforms. Thank you very much for this fruitful discussion, and once again, thank you for this good
Thank you, Gennady. I was following the events in the spring, the events that are happening in Armenia now, and I know that you have a lot of work to do to prepare for your future parliamentary elections in December. I just want to say a little thing that in the coming days we will have a new article dedicated to the women of Armenia during the revolutions, and I'm honored to be the person who have interrogated somehow the woman, the Armenian woman for this article, and it will be published by Civicus Monitor. It's a organization umbrella, and thank you, Mr. Minassian, for joining our event. And I would like to invite you to address our audience and to say a few words about those perspectives that you intend to implement and to organize in your country regarding this partnership.
Thank you very much, Angela. Secretaries, dear colleagues, ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to thank the members for this kind invitation to take part in the event, which it's my special pleasure to make introductory remarks in a place where so many of my former and also current colleagues are present. Together with some of you, we have participated in so many different projects, events, even my previous professional experience is a former think tanker, which has strong ties both with practical policy and academic research. And now, in my current position, I can state with more confidence that expert and academic analysis and political recommendations built on them are extremely important for both diplomacy and political activity. I think this is especially true for this sphere, where the relation between state structures, political actors, civil society, and academia is a very necessary condition for changes. And as you mentioned, as our next year, the Eastern Partnership Program celebrates its 10th anniversary. And for me, as an ambassador of my country in Romania, I also find it very symbolic that during the same period, Romania is taking over the presidency of the EU Council, and as mentioned by state secretaries, I'm sure that Romania will pay big attention to this jubilee, geographical, historical, and political ties with those also countries that are members of the Eastern Partnership program. I think that after 10 years of establishment of the Eastern Partnership Program, the program and the countries that form part of it keep facing a number of internal and external challenges, political, security, social and economic terms. And the new political developments, however, bring not only challenges but also opportunities, especially helping the countries to stand on the path of developed and democracy measure future. And in this sense, I'm sure that recent political developments in Armenia that have started in late April and May this year, developments that we call revolution, can serve a very interesting and bright example. And in my belief, it is an important case for Armenia and for the whole post-Soviet space as an example of non-violent transition of in the existing institutional framework that, according to political logic, soon will be completed after the first elections in the history of independence Armenia that will be conducted on December 9th this year. And I think that also the phenomenon of Armenian Velvet Revolution is not only important from the political point of view, but I think that it can serve very interesting ground for many future academic research and analysis that will give us opportunity to academia, to experts, but also for decision makers and diplomats, civil society, to make necessary calculation and conclusion to the future social, political development, and which is the most important, the democratic transition, not only in my country, but also for the whole Eastern Partnership space. So again, I wish all the success to organizers and participants of this forum, and I'm confident that your analysis and discussions on both new and traditional security chapters and various opportunities can be very useful first of all for diplomats, politicians, parliamentarians, as well as for civil society actors, even our joint efforts to obtain more secure, more democratic, and more prosperous world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. It's our pleasure to introduce to you His Excellency Nicholas Ishvili. He has joined our event and he also has joined the Georgian team. It's okay?
Yeah.
Mr. Ambassador, I know that you are not for such a long time in Bucharest, and I wish you a great mandate here and a presence here. And I would like to invite you to address some of your thoughts and ideas to our audience. Please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. State Secretary, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me express my sincere gratitude to organizers of this important forum where we have an opportunity to discuss about the Eastern Partnership Initiative, aiming to build a common area of shared democracy, prosperity, stability, and increased cooperation. Eastern Partnership has a special Eastern dimension of EU's neighborhood policies, a key contributor to stability and development in our region. It has been a real game changer for the Eastern European partners and the EU alike. All the stakeholders have invested in and gained a lot from this initiative. In this regard, my special appreciation to Romania that does an enormous effort for the Eastern Partnership countries in sharing experiences and supporting us in the transformation process to the EU. We are looking forward to Romania's presidency next year to the Council of the European Union and convinced that it will bring the initiative new impetus and new ideas. When it comes to Georgia, our progress in our European integration has been achieved through the Eastern Partnership. We continue effective implementation of the association agreement, including with the CFTA that was signed 4 years ago. The visa-free regime was yet another tangible result, which is actively used by the Georgian citizens. We are gradually deepening sectoral cooperation that marks Georgia's accession to the energy community and ratification of the Paris Climate Agreement. On 21st November, we are launching a new form of cooperation between the government of Georgia and the European Commission at the highest level, which will give a significant boost to our sectoral cooperation. We are actively cooperating with the EU in the field of security and defense, along with continued engagement in the EU crisis management missions. We are engaged in a high-level strategic security dialogue with the EU to discuss matters of common concern. We are building compatibility of our institutions with the EU standards and establishing best European practices by integrating with the EU agencies and programs in various fields. At national level, the states should be committed to the pursuing democratic reform track and investing in stronger democratic institutions compatible with the EU standards. Georgia remains committed to continue contributing to the success of Eastern Partnership and developing stronger partnership based on the shared interests, but also our ambitions. We are actively engaged in the multilateral cooperation of the Eastern Partnership, and we will continue our participation in the same spirit. We are devoted to the implementation of 20 deliverables for 2020, and I will advance in respective reforms. All European countries have differentiated relations with the EU according to their own interests, ambitions and aspirations, and have activated almost all prospects of the Eastern Partnership. While inclusiveness is one of the key features of the ENP, we should also recognize that a multi-track process is a reality in the ENP. Georgia's and other associated partners' ambitions go far beyond political association, and there is a need to adequately address these aspirations. To this end, we welcome the recent informal ministerial meeting on trade between the Commissioner Malmström and three associated partners, which responded to the ENP Summit joint declaration. It could give an impetus to new initiatives and serve as a good start for joint discussions in other spheres as well. We believe that the firm and continuous adherence to the principles of differentiation and more for more is extremely important to mention, to maintain the attractiveness of the ENP for all partner countries. We should set new benchmarks and identify policy areas for deeper integration. To this end, 10th anniversary of the ENP that we are celebrating next year provides a good opportunity to analyze and take stock of that the ENP has delivered during the past 10 years and focus on future opportunities beyond 2020. Ongoing conflicts in the ENP region and fragile security situation remain the main challenge, not only for the partner countries and the region as a whole, but significantly threatens and undermines the European security architecture. In Georgia, the Russian Federation continues the occupation of two regions, Abkhazia and Skymalia region, South Ossetia, accompanied by the heavy military build-up, severe human rights violations and processes aimed at annexation of those regions. To this end, we express our gratitude for the EU's strong support to Georgia's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and once again underline the importance of the EU's continuous engagement in the peaceful resolution of the conflict. In this regard, we would need a clear perspective, and I hope the European Union and its member states will rise to that challenge. I'm convinced that the Eastern Partnership countries, which reached important historic milestones, will continue reforms and democratization process, as there is no better way to make irreversible progress on the path towards the European Union.
When you have the support of your origin country, you know that you will make it right. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Ambassador Mihail Bija, coming from Moldova. His presence and support for us is very important. Mr. Ambassador, please.
Dear Ambassador Buxbaum, State Secretary Nicolescu, your colleagues, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, let me first start by saying that I'm very honored to participate today in this forum dedicated to the Eastern Partnership and to express my thanks to the organizer for inviting me as one of the speakers. From the very beginning, I would like to emphasize that the Republic of Moldova shares the assessment about the importance of the Eastern Partnership both for the partners and for the EU. After almost a decade since this initiative was launched, we can safely say that the Eastern Partnership has delivered a lot, especially for the three partner states, Republic of Moldova, Georgia, and Ukraine. Strategic milestones such as Association Agreement, DCFTA, and visa-free regimes have been passed. So, at the 10th anniversary, we will have a lot to say about positive transformations, benefits, and of cooperation. In this regard, I do believe that the next 10th anniversary of the Eastern Partnership will give us an excellent opportunity to review the achieved results, share the lessons learned, and reflect on future priorities beyond 2020. What will be after that, taking into consideration all the regional and international challenges? I think that this is a moment for reflection, not only for the European Union, but also for the Eastern partners. Regarding the 20 deliverables for 2020, the positive developments testify about our shared political commitment to achieve the targets that have been set for this period. Of course, the partners have different starting position in the implementation of the deliverables as a clear reflection of the differentiation principles. But every effort and progress is very important. And we think that Eastern Partnership multilateral dimension should be sufficiently flexible to accommodate different ambitions and aspirations of the partners. Speaking about the bilateral cooperation with the Republic of Moldova within this framework, I would like to highlight that our country has been and remains attached to the pro-European path, and it wants to share the European values. Despite all domestic or external challenges, whether it will be justice reform, fight against corruption, risk of meddling in electoral process of hybrid threats, the authorities are committed to continue work on the implementation of the association agreement. Now I would like to go a bit through these 20 key deliverables, and I would like to highlight that online initiatives, EU for Moldova, Stronger Together, EU for Youth, EU for Business, and EU for Energy have been actively promoted in my country. We will be interested to work further with the EU on EU for Moldova strategic communication campaign, using relevant experience of campaigns being implemented in Georgia and Ukraine. With regard to the first main priority areas of the Eastern Partnership, and namely stronger economy, I'm glad to acknowledge that in 2017, the EU was Moldova's first trading partner and biggest investor in the country. That means 64% of total exports and 56% of its total trade are directed to the European market. Concerning stronger governance, much of our work is focused on strengthening the public administration, strengthening anti-corruption and anti-money laundering institutional framework, promoting justice reform. A lot has been done, but much more remains to be implemented. These issues are actively discussed in our bilateral dialogue with EU. Of course, a very important test will be the next parliamentary elections. Moldovan authorities are committed to hold them in a fair and democratic manner, respecting democratic standards. We are also keen to work on strengthening cybersecurity and consolidating resilience of our institutions and society against the hybrid threats. A more active security dialogue will be helpful in this regard. On common security and defense policy, Moldova is interested in further development of a strategic partnership with EU in all GSDP-related areas, including fight against terrorism and organized crime, and other emerging threats and risks to the security on the continent. I would like to mention that Moldovan experts take part in the EU training mission in Mali and have also contributed to the EU military advisory mission in the Central African Republic. Concerning stronger connectivity, we are working on a number of bigger and smaller projects in the areas of diversification of energy supply, energy efficiency, and renewable energy. Our main infrastructure priority is to finalize the Iași-Ungheni-Chișinău gas pipeline, which will be a final step in connecting Moldova gas system to the EU system. The realization of this project will contribute significantly to the consolidation of the energy security of the Republic of Moldova, demonopolization and diversification of the energy resources and routes. Digital sphere is another priority. Moldova pays a special attention to this sector, aiming to bring the e-governance to as many sectors as possible, starting from public tenders and finishing with education. Finally, because our role and contribution as experts in different areas is essential to address the current challenges and future perspectives for EU ESGA partnership policy, I would like to wish you all every success in this conference with fruitful and substantial discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. As you said, security is not only about military issues, but also our wealth security, our social security, and our democracy security. We have in the room here today some experts, Romanian experts, that have made possible the understanding of Ukrainian situation after 2014. I mean that we were the link between the Ukraine and Romania, and we were those persons who explained to the Romanian audience that Ukraine is not Russia, and why we should engage in a different dialogue with Ukraine. After a few years, we can say now that we have a very good cooperation with the Ukrainian embassy here in Romania, in Bucharest. And also we have a lot of cooperation and projects with our Ukrainian colleagues, Leonid Mitra and Gennady Matsak being here today. And also Anton Nicole, we have cooperated during a lot of articles and projects. I will invite you, Mr. Banco, to address some your ideas and thoughts to our audience. Knowing that you have a delegation, a very important delegation here today, I'd like to thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. First of all, I'd like to say to the audience and the guests, speakers, representatives, ambassadors. I'm glad to be here and have this share some views and positions on the state of the implementation of those 10 deliverables to 2020 from Ukrainian perspective. Speaking about the process of the implementation, we can say that we are definitely moving in the right direction, and we have some tangible results already achieved. We focused actually on fighting against corruption, on judicial reform, and creating the depoliticized civil service as a basis for further achievements and further comprehensive reforms in Ukraine. The most important thing, I think, worth mentioning here is that the results of this cooperation in the framework of the Eastern Partnership with the EU have become visible for Ukrainian society. And I think this thing is true not only for Ukraine, but also for Georgia, for the Republic of Moldova, for Armenia, and other Eastern Partnership countries. With such achievements as association agreement and DCFTA or visa-free regime, those are actually results of this cooperation, which proved and showed also to Ukrainian society, and not only for Ukrainian society, that this cooperation is going in the right direction and brings real results and real benefits for the society. As I'm the last one to speak, I will not repeat all that have been said already, but I would like to mention some initiatives recently launched by Ukrainian side in the framework of the Eastern Partnership, with the special focus on security dimension. It's a bit difficult to speak about security dimension as it is in the framework of Eastern Partnership, because as for me, this initiative and this neighborhood policy for Eastern Partnership was not supposed to be a dimension for the security cooperation. But still, as we face, especially nowadays, some new threats, hybrid threats, if you want, I think some initiatives can be realized, can be implemented in the dimension of the hybrid threats, of the cybersecurity, actually, especially in the framework of regional elections in the Republic of Moldova, in Ukraine next year. I think that we can think about strengthening the cooperation with the EU in the framework of existing formats for cybersecurity, maybe considering creating some task groups for strengthening our resilience in countering hybrid threats, cybersecurity, and countering propaganda as well, disinformation in this field. I will not monopolize the stage, so I want to thank once again to all the audience for the attention and for the interest, actually, to Eastern Partnership and the developments in the framework of this initiative. I want to thank you to all my colleagues here, State Secretary and Ambassador from Austria, for participating, and to you, Angela, personally, for making this effort and to continuing this initiative and this platform as a very important platform for debating and creating and launching some new ideas of cooperation between civil society, NGOs, and also state bodies and European bodies in the framework of this policy. Thank you.
Thank you. As I mentioned, the presence of the officials and the ambassadors here is very important for us because they are our link to their governmental bodies. And when we are implementing our projects and our initiatives, we need their support for making more clear our issues and to address more clear to the government those problems that we are trying to solve. I would like to thank you to the Eastern Partnership Civil Society for supporting for the second time this project, this idea, this how to say session with bright people from the region, from Eastern Partnership countries and from the European countries. I'd like to thank you to the Austrian Minister for Europe for the willingness to support and to help this event under the Austrian space today. Mr. Thomas Wolfgang, thank you for your kind address to our audience. I would like to thank you to Mr. State Secretary Nadia for the support of the Romanian Minister of Foreign Affairs and also to the State Secretary Mr. Tudor Buzato. I would like to thank you again to Ms. Mirela Pedoi, General Director of the Central Digital Library, and to Mr. Martin Zink from the Institute. And allow me to explain to you what will happen next. Today we will have another 3 session dedicated to Georgia, to Moldova, and to Ukraine. And we will have in each session a not speech. It's the famous speech of the author of the paper. And we are invited, all of you, to join the debate and to ask questions to our experts. Also, we have in each session experts from Eastern Partnership countries and also from EU countries to make it more understandable the needs of the Eastern Partnership countries to Brussels and to the other European countries' capital cities. And now I will invite you for a coffee break. We have 18 minutes for the coffee break. And after that, we will start with the session dedicated to Georgia, and it will be moderated by our partner, Jan from Institute for European Policy Reform. Thank you, and I would like to welcome you.